go in just yet. A little bit of backstory. If you Google Red Channel, not that much comes up, but if you look up Red Channel inside of the TF2 classified Discord, there's only a very small handful of results. They very clearly wanted this scrubbed from their servers as much as possible. You know, what the fuck's going on here, all right? And it turns out that Red Channel was the brainchild of someone by the name of Alpha Blaster and built by someone by the name of Boba. Boba is someone that has been heavily involved in the TF2 classified sphere. I believe they still work on the mod to this day. Red Channel is this bizarre hybrid between 4chan and Reddit that was in part founded by Alpha Blaster, this individual by the name of Alpha Blaster, and then worked on by someone by the name of Boba. And they hosted TF2 classified servers, all right? This was founded in 2015, what have you, and they host TF2 servers and whatnot, all right? And yeah, that's where Red Channel comes from. I think the name's actually making fun of that one episode of Law & Order.
This link was just uploaded to Red Channel.
Well, congratulations! You got yourself caught! Sir? Now what's the next step of your master plan?
Crashing this plane. With no survivors.
Where is this coming from?
No one knows it's streaming live.
I think that's where the name Red Channel came from, or some kind of spin-off of that. This is basically former 8chaners that made their own bizarre combination of 4chan and Reddit. And remember what 8chan is, it's a much more, it is leagues chuddier than 4chan ever will be. And this map, by the name of CTF Moonman, was actively played on the Red Channel servers. And the Red Channel servers were actually some of the most popular TF2 classified servers that a lot of the devs played on, that everyone would actively engage in and play on. This is where they would play. And this map was specifically made for these servers, all right? This map was made for these servers, specifically for the Red Channel TF2 classified servers, all right? I think I'm gonna let the map speak for itself. I'm gonna have to mute the audio, but...
Sicker than your average nigger killer.
Eat my dust!
Heads off niggers, fucking stink niggers and gators.
So, yeah, this is the first thing you hear when you first load into the stream. Okay, this is the very first thing you hear on CTF Moonman. You love to hear it. You love to see it. You love to see it. All right, I'm gonna mute the audio just to like lower the chances of this being completely scrubbed off of YouTube. This is what you first see when you load in. Okay, it's a pretty innocuous, an innocuous room. All right, and then let's no clip. Go at like a nice slow pace. Oh, you come outside, it seems pretty reasonable. Oh, it's a McDonald's. Oh, okay, it's a McDonald's. Okay, pretty innocuous. Ignore the sign. Okay, well, McDonald's, billions and billions. Okay, and then okay. Yeah, it's just a normal McDonald's that totally nothing interesting or changed at all about this McDonald's whatsoever. And yeah, and then we have a Garrison Pest Extermination Services. This sign was made by Alpha Blaster, by the way. For those of you familiar with Ben Garrison, will understand the joke being made here. But if I have to spell it out for those that don't know, this is referring to, let's say, Jewish people as a pest that need to be exterminated. This was made by Alpha Blaster. This is a custom ad set specifically made for this. There's a church over here, by the way. We'll mosey on through here. Oh, we have what's that over there? So it seems as though we have a Jewish synagogue, and we can just mosey on up here. Nothing too interesting over here. We have some hard hats. Nothing too what is this? Oh boy. Well, so it appears to be that the clock tower on the map may or may not have a spinning bent cross, if I've ever seen one. I don't think I need to explain what I'm seeing on the screen right now. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We have this as the town square next to a Jewish synagogue. Yeah, this is CTF Moonman, everybody. And then if they had any doubt, here's Alpha Sandblasters, the guy who commissioned the map and made these assets for the map. Here you go. This is the guy right here that made this map for this very popular TF2 classified server that, again, all the devs played on, all the people working on this mod played on this shit. This was one of the top TF2 classified servers back around 2016, 2017, if my timeline is correct. My heart is racing right now just showing this shit on stream. And nothing else going on in here. We do have a little hallway here. We got a little hallway, you know. Well, you got Moonman seeming to be, you know, putting a noose around an Undertale character. I think that one's also pretty self-explanatory, and then I think that's also pretty self-explanatory as well. So, CTF Moonman, everybody. The Red Chanted server was easily one of the most popular TF2 classified servers back around 2016. These were the servers. This was the server that you would join if you wanted to play TF2 Classic. All right, and I did a little bit of research on this because there's still some things that are floating around the internet still, and I found a couple of videos. I actually found a couple of videos of this fucking, here we go, mic spam on Red Chanted TF2 Classified, and you see Alpha Blaster right here with a Link wearing a MAGA hat, you know. And I won't play the audio, but here they are playing on these servers, man. So this was the place you would go to play TF2 Classified. And if you had any doubts, here's one of the current developers, Ultranima, that still works on TF2 Classified to this day. And even went so far as to make this post on Twitter, openly mocking people who play vanilla Team Fortress 2. This is a stupid tweet. It's fucking stupid. It's funny, what have you. But just to, you know, reinforce that, hey, these are all the same guys back then working on this mod, playing on these servers, playing on the Red Chanted servers with CTF Moonman. You thought they were normal people. Well, this is a nice little window into the past here, all right? Nice little window into the past. And if you caught, remember, Alpha Blaster had like a little MAGA hat, a very, very chuddy profile picture, all right? That's one thing to note. Alpha Blaster also went by the name of Agitation Skeleton. That was his alias, okay? That was his alias. All that's left is the stuff that the TF2 Classified devs could not scrub from the internet. So we get little bits and pieces of things that they could not remove, like the mercenary rant mocking the post that is in direct reference to these servers, by the way. This is Stashkip, the voice actor for the fucking Open Fortress Mercenary, mocking the people, complaining about the racism on this fucking server. It's all the devs, all the people who were playing on this back in 2016, man. This was the place to be. They scrubbed so much of this. It is so hard to find many of these things. There's not much left online because they don't want you to see this. This is not an April Fool's joke. They do not want you to see this, okay? It wasn't a secret. Alpha Blaster wasn't a secret. They all knew who he was. They all played with this guy. They all played on his servers, what have you. This was their place to chill, man. You know, it wasn't a secret that Alpha Blaster behaved this way and had, you know, certain ideas about certain groups of people and what have you, and is very edgy and very chuddy, what have you. You know, they hung out here, and they were all friends. They all knew each other. And again, they've scrubbed all of this. They don't want you to see it. They are begging people, Benjamoose, people still associated and working on TF2 Classified are begging people to remove this stuff from the internet because it makes them look bad. Everything I've shown you here is the stuff that they just missed. And it's still public, right? It's all still public. And if this is what they missed, right? If this is what they missed, if these are the things that they could not scrub off the internet, think about what they got rid of. Think about what we will never see. The thing that makes me laugh the most, is you have Benjamoose in the comment section of this video saying, yeah, sensibilities have changed a lot in 10 years. Yeah, man, I don't know about you, but 10 years ago, This wasn't a common sensibility. People weren't fucking doing this. Like even the 4chan party van servers would just play Mario Kart and say slurs and then just like play normal vanilla TF2. Like this wasn't a sensibility. This was like the really dark fringes of online spaces that engaged in servers like this and played in groups like this, right? And to top it all off, if you go to the contributors on TF2 Classified, you can still see to this day Alpha Blaster is still there, still cited as someone that contributed towards the mod. I am shocked that they have not scrubbed this. It is still there on their own website, next to people like Solarlight, other bigger figure, like there's Solarlight right there, next to other bigger figures like Neodem and Juniper, Void, Diva Dan, all these bigger creators in the TF2 sphere. They all worked together. They all knew each other. They all played on these fucking servers. And just as a reminder, this is mostly still the same people, right? These are mostly still the same people that are deciding whether or not your server is clean enough to be verified. When, 7 or 8 years ago, this is what they were getting up to. This is what they were doing about 7 or 8 years ago, and these are mostly still the same people that are deciding whether or not your servers are clean enough to be verified for TF2 Classified, whatever. The point of this is to show the hypocrisy, just to show how stupid it is to enforce server verification, when these same motherfuckers were doing all of the same stuff they're trying to clean out of their mod because they don't want this juxtaposed against their portfolios. They don't want this stuff coming to light. This is the stuff that they were getting into, man. They don't want this juxtaposed against this mod that they're then gonna send off as part of their portfolio to potentially get hired at a fucking game company, man. And also, by the way, more lore on this. Agitation Skeleton, aka Alpha Blaster, also worked on Open Fortress, I believe, and there's little pieces of evidence of this. It's not 100% verified. Alpha Blaster is one of the main people that worked on Open Fortress, either as one of the lead devs or one of the people that actually made the mod as a fork off of TF2 Classic. Alpha Blaster is one of the top dogs for Open Fortress. One of the top people that worked on Open Fortress. All these guys are tied together. All of these mods are connected together with all of the same people. The insane hypocrisy of this is what I think should be aired out and everyone should see. And this is, again, just what's left. This is what they could not scrub. This is what they could not get rid of. Imagine what was still there before they cleaned up their history. Thank God that we still have the fucking, Wayback Machine and the Internet Archive. And you know what? I'll fillet myself a little bit. I just quoted the fucking Eric Andre show, and people call me a fucking racist. What is this? The fuck, dude? Oh, well, it was 10 years ago. Sensibilities were different. Fuck you, buddy. Oh, don't worry. It's just a Buddhist symbol, and Devilman will reincarnate. Oh my God. Oh, like fucking poetry, we are reminded that all TF2 fans are one and the same. Once you're here forever. So that's what I found out about TF2 Classified that I felt was worth sharing with all of you today.